Hey everybody, Sasuke419 here, and wow, you guys have really asked for it. So I know it's been a long time coming, but I want to say thank you for liking this series. It makes me want to go ahead and do more of these now that I have more free time, and now that I see that this is very popular with y'all, I'll try and pump more out as I can. But anyway, before we get to this episode's topic, first I want to bring up a couple things. One, as you can see here, I have talked to Sonic Comic World about possibly doing a team up, or have him co-host an episode. And one of the main things we're going to talk about that we decided upon was Jeffrey St. John, or in my case, I like to call him Jeffrey St. Jackass, St. Jerk Bastard, whatever you want to call him. Just don't like him, and apparently Sonic Comic World had the same opinions as me and all, but you know, we actually had it in the works and tried to. I should have gotten his Skype name when I had the chance, but I didn't, or got another form of contact. But ever since he closed the account down, well, you know, I guess it's in the past now. Maybe if he watches in the future, maybe he could get in contact with me and maybe we can arrange something. But anyway, with everyone, without further ado, Sasuke419 presents to you Sonic Topics to Get Off My Chest, Episode 3. Okay, everyone, if you guys have not noticed or have not paid attention to what I said my next topics was going to be, I'll tell you right now. The topics that I'm going to bring up now for Sonic Topics to Get Off My Chest is the writers. Mainly Ian Flynn, Ken Penders, Carl Ballers. Mostly Penders versus Flynn, because it's been brought to my attention through DeviantArt, YouTube, and all that other stuff that people seem to not like Ian Flynn because of what he's done to the comics. Because of breaking the status quo. And I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what anyone says. Y'all complaining saying that he's changed this for characters. He didn't do that for characters. That's breaking the status quo instead of having it fall into a rut. Because let's face it, people. The comics have fallen into a rut before issue 160, where Ian Flynn came in. It's fallen into a rut. It's became too predictable. And trust me, if you, I have, again, like I said before in my Q&A video, I own 95% of the comics. Okay, the only issues I do not have are like some of the earlier ones, like issue 1, 2, 3. I have issue 4. I'm missing 5, 6, 7, and then I am missing 9 and 10. And then I have issues 11 through 23. I'm missing 24, 25. And then I have 26 to 77. And then I'm missing the 2000 series, which is 78 to 89. Other than that, after issue 89, I have issue 90 to current. Okay, so I have about 95% of the comics. And the comics that I do not have, I've read. So I remember what happened. Okay, I remember pretty much what was going on. Now, the people who don't like Ian Flynn or anything like that, I'm sorry. I gotta divide. Y'all probably fit into one of these categories. I may be wrong, but in my opinion, y'all probably fit into one of these categories. One, you have recently gotten to the Sonic comics, maybe a few years ago here or there, maybe a little bit before Ian Flynn's time, maybe, and y'all have not read the backstories or have not read the back issues of the comics. So y'all don't know what's going on or stuff like that, or the things Penders and Ballers have done in the comics. Okay? So y'all either fit into that, and that's why y'all mad at Ian Flynn, because y'all think Ken Penders and Carl Ballers have done an amazing job. They can do no wrong. Yeah. No wrong, huh? We'll get to that in a second. Or the other topics, y'all fit into the old school Sonic fan base, aka Sonic SatAM. And don't get me wrong, I love SatAM. I have the complete series. In fact, I have Sonic SatAM Adventures and Sonic Underground. I mean, I have them all. SatAM was a must for me. Out of all the 3 series, SatAM was my favorite. I'm an old school Sonic fan myself, but come on guys, so let's face it. Some of y'all just don't like to see what's going on. Now remember, each of the writers before Sega had to come in and do more, because Sega is watching the comic more now than they have back in the day. Really, the only time Sega interfered was in the Endgame saga, in which they killed Sally Acorn because Pender said there was no need for her with the King coming back. Okay, go look that up if y'all don't believe me, but because the King was coming back, they said Sally was going to be a moot point and they didn't need her anymore, so they were going to kill her off. People were so pissed, and at the time, Sega World, back in Australia and everything, they had Sally merchandise and stuff like that, and Sally was going to be a big promotional item. So Sega had to intervene and told them to write her back. So that was pretty much the first time Sega actually came in and intervened with the comics. But now with the comics growing in popularity, Sega is overseeing the comics more and more now. So the writers not only have to go through the editors, they also have to make sure that Sega approves of what's going on. Okay, we're getting, and that kind of leads into Genesis, but again, I'll get into that later. But still, they said they have certain mandates for Sonic. Sonic can't cry. Shed a tear, maybe. I mean, he has a couple times, but he can't downright cry. And they want to try and keep Sonic single. Yeah, he may have like a little bit, or maybe have a girlfriend or go out with someone every now and then, but don't let that be the main focus of the comics. Okay, and I don't know, it's like they can't really work on Sonic, but they can focus on the characters around. As long as none of the Sega Sonic characters are really hurt or killed or anything like that, which is obvious, so work around that. So the writers have to do that. But anyway, getting off of it, y'all people are the old school Sonic fans. Y'all like to see your favorite characters hurt, like Bunny leaving, Antoine in a coma, Sally roboticized. Y'all don't like that, and y'all complain about it. Okay? But yet, there was a time when nobody liked, or Sally's fan base was cut in half. So, anyway, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get into this, and I'm going to compare. Okay? Y'all said, I've heard people say before, how Ian Flynn's a horrible writer. How? How can Ian Flynn be a horrible writer? Okay? Let's go ahead and let's do an experiment real quick. Let's do an experiment. Let's look at issues 1 through 159, because that was Penders and Ballers. Let's look at issues 1 to 159. Take out every milestone issue, and to dumb it down, or to explain. Let me explain myself. If y'all don't understand what the milestone issues, let me tell you. The milestone issues is pretty much every 25 issues of a comic. So not including... So let's look at this from issue 1 to 159. If we're not including issue 25, 50, 75, 100, 125, and 150, if we're now counting those, and we're not counting Endgame, because everybody knows Endgame, knows the Endgame arc. So not counting those, name an arc that you remember that was exciting there and during Ballers and Pender's work. During their run. Go ahead. Don't worry, I'll wait. Go ahead. Tell me, what is a arc that you believe? Not just one issue, what is a arc or whatever that you believe? That shook up the comics a little bit. I mean, I remember, I can tell you now, the only big thing that really happened was the lead up to Nagas. In all honesty. After that, it kind of fell into a rut, and it got boring. I'm sorry. I collected them, but it got boring. It wasn't as exciting. Yeah, you had a couple issues here and there, but come on, people, let's face it. It got boring. It really did. Then Ian Flynn comes in. What happens with Ian Flynn? Darkest Storm. After Darkest Storm, we get a couple of fillers here and there. We kind of tie up a couple loose ends. Granted, yes, Tommy did end up dying, but we got Scourge. Let's not forget that. Ian Flynn gave us Scourge. After Darkest Storm, we finally get to see Tails' parents. Tails' parents finally makes an appearance since issue 129, and they are now in the comics. They're now with Tails. We go to Bunny and Antoine finally being married. Now, I do know, okay, if anybody's going to say this, I do know this. I do know Penders was planning on having Bunny and Antoine getting married by issue 200 in his plans. But at the same time, though, Bunny, it also said in his little message that he was going to have Bunny decide whether or not Antoine, that she wanted to marry Antoine. Are you kidding me? Who else was Bunny's love interest? Who else was Bunny's love interest? And yeah, I know what you're seeing here. I'll get to that in a second. But anyway, we get to that. So we build that up. Fiona leaving, which leads to Antoine proposing, which means to Knothole being destroyed. Now that was completely out of left field. Who would have ever thought that Knothole was going to be destroyed? Only time you thought about it was Endgame. But it came back. With the Annihilator was supposed to annihilate Knothole, but it came back at the end. So really, I don't count that. But Knothole being destroyed this time for good. Who would have thought of that? No one would have thought of that. Okay? Then we go down to Sonic getting his ass handed to him by Eggman. One-on-one, has a robot to completely counter Sonic and kicks his ass. Okay? Then we lead to Sonic versus Tails after that whole little arc, after Sonic saves them and saves his friends and all that other stuff. Leads to Sonic versus Tails due to bad blood between Sonic going out with Fiona, which again is a dick move, I'm not gonna lie. That was a complete dick move on Sonic's part. But that builds up to Sonic versus Tails, which needed to happen, because that needed to be resolved. We go from that to Enerjack. Knuckles being Enerjack, we go to that arc. That was exciting in itself. Then we get a couple of issues with Mammoth Mongo and all the other stuff. Then we lead up to Scourge and the Suppression Squad. We lead that up to the whole Hedgehog's Havoc and all the other stuff. With Scourge being the main villain and Scourge giving him the all it takes, well, even beforehand, like, made him remember the one bad day quote and you'll be just like me, stuff like that. Okay, which Sonic does think about again later on, but anyway. We go to the Scourge arc, then we go to a couple of issues kind of set up what happens to issue 200, where Eggman finally snaps, and after that, we go to the Iron Queen Dominion Saga, the Iron Queen Saga, which lasts a whole year, so we go from one big push to another one, which gives more characters development and stuff like that. Then we get a few issues here and there I call pre-Genesis. And it shows Sonic and Bunny, Sonic and Rotor kind of, adds a couple things, tie up a couple of loose ends, gives Bunny a backstory, it finally has a relative that we know. We go from there to the the pre-Genesis thing where Jeffrey saying dumbass, jackass, whatever, betrays them, and that leads up to Genesis, which I know a lot of people say they didn't like Genesis, but at the same time, Ian Flynn has stated that Sally was supposed to be roboticized in issue 225. That was supposed to be the whole big milestone thing. Sally was supposed to be roboticized in 225, not the whole gunshot thing. Okay, but Sega said they want the comics to do something for Sonic's 20th anniversary. So that's where Genesis came in. Okay, that's why Genesis had to happen. And then don't even say too that Genesis was a waste of time, because no, Genesis was a good 4-part series, and some things from Genesis came over here. A soft reboot, which needed to happen, because come on, let's face it, the continuity and all the other stuff with Penders and all the other stuff, it was kind of getting out of hand. So the soft reboot, fine, I'm cool with it. It wasn't that big. Okay, only thing it really did was robotization. Okay, because if y'all don't know this, they couldn't roboticize, but again, I'll get to that when I have to talk about a certain someone. And I don't like to talk about somebody, but we'll get to that in a second. So we go from Genesis to post-Genesis, aka the current Mecha Sally arc, which I'm dubbing Mecha Sally arc. Maybe some other people thought about it, but that's pretty much what's going on right now. Where all the characters, they're developing, growing, all the other stuff. So that's what's going on right now. That's what Flynn had brought us. Flynn has brought us that, and he's still doing it. He said we haven't seen anything yet. Okay. Penders and Ballers, y'all say they're all good and everything. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say they're horrible, because they're not. They're not horrible. They've done stuff too. They pretty much, mainly Penders, because he has set up the comic and everything. Granted, they sort of follow Saturday AM because they have the characters. They didn't follow it exactly or whatever. It's its own. I mean, it's separate from Saturday AM, but it still has Saturday. It's Saturday AM, but it is a Saturday AM. If y'all understand what I'm talking about, because in my opinion, the way Ben Hurst was going to do it, Ben Hurst was going to have Nagas as the main villain in Season 3. That's technically what kind of happened in the comics, if you thought about it or if you haven't thought about it. Pretty much, the last episode, Doomsday, the whole Doomsday thing at Saturday AM, is technically Endgame in the comics. Technically, if you want to think about that, it's technically Endgame and Doomsday are pretty much one and the same if you want to think like that. Because after Endgame, Sonic and Tails go around the world and they end up fighting Nagas. Nagas was supposed to be the villain until Eggman makes his grand debut or grand reappearance in issue 75. Okay, but still. And then that was supposed to happen in Season 3. Nagas was supposed to be the main villain and all the other stuff. So, sort of, it is, but it isn't. Okay, but other than that, let's see. What did Penders and Ballers do? Slap her around Mobius. That was the ultimate disgrace. I'm sorry. Everything was wrong about that. Everything. Sally was, I said this before in my Q&A, Sally was completely out of character in this. Completely out of character. Okay? They had Sonic as a man whore. Okay? I'm sorry. Y'all don't want to hear that. We don't want to talk about it. But let's face it. Sonic was a man whore. Don't believe me? Look. I know you've seen it. Look at this. Sonic and Bunny. Sonic and Bunny. Okay? Sonic and Bunny. Now, again, like I said, this is just some of the things that went on. Yes, I know Sally kissed Khan and everything, but needed closure, which I don't know. That's still kind of dumb on my part. Sally was looking for someone or whatever. She was attracted to Monkey Khan because Monkey Khan had the same qualities as Sonic, which doesn't make any sense to me. Then why the fuck did you just go out with Sonic? But anyway, whatever. I'm getting too much into this. But again, I'm not saying Ian Flynn's perfect, okay? I'm not saying he's perfect. Everyone does some things. It's just that, I'm sorry, Penders and Ballers, their mistakes outweighs Ian Flynn. Ian Flynn, that's probably, if I can name one thing, that's probably one thing. Okay? But anyway, moving on. Look at this one. Sonic goes back to school. Really? Really? We're really doing here. We're really going here. Look at this. Words can't even describe this. Words can't even describe it. That was pretty much what was going on during this point. A school subplot. You know, Sally being homeschooled, staying away from Sonic and all that other stuff. You know, Penders even said in his one message that Sonic was supposed to be playing the field a little longer and all this other stuff. So, you know, whatever. I don't know. It's, you know, everybody keeps saying that. I'm sorry. I just get upset when people say, you know, so and so sucks, so and so this, so and so that. Now, I'm sorry. If you don't like it, then that's your opinion. But don't just straight out say that so-and-so sucks or this sucks just because. You gotta have research. Do your research. Now, you guys know, I don't like to attack people on this. I really don't like to attack people because everybody has their own opinion, okay? Everyone has their own opinion. But, I have to say this. I have to center this person out. BW Roses has uploaded a video And I'm not talking about BW Roses. I'm not. But he has uploaded a video about a person named Laser X5. Okay. Now I've seen this, and I'm sorry. I have to talk about it. I have to talk about it. I don't like to single anybody out. I really don't, because of your opinions. But if you haven't seen this, oh, trust me, I'll put some of this in here. I'll put some of the clips in here, because he makes no sense to me. I'm sorry. I have to call Laser X5 out. I have to. Now, I don't like to attack people, like I said, but let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, let's get into what he has to say.
I've been waiting to say this for months now. Hello, and welcome to the worst of Archie's Sonic the Hedgehog. It's a special occasion, so I figured I could use a bit of a change of scenery around here. First, a quick rundown. In March of 2006, starting with issue 160, Ian Flynn took over the spot of head writer from Ken Penders, where he has sadly remained to this day.
Okay, obviously you have a problem with Ian Flynn, but let's hear your valid reasons. You must have some valid reasons to hate this, some opinions, some research, so let's go ahead and hear them.
I know, Ken himself isn't exactly Grant Morrison or anything, and he's had some stinkers, but those pale in comparison to what Flynn's shat out for us lately. What has he done wrong? Well, let's look at the list. Character derailment. Check.
I don't understand how that's character derailment. I mean, he had to tie up some loose ends, had to get some things changed and everything, and made sure Sonic and Tails... I mean, come on now. Sonic dated someone that, you know, Tails had a crush on. Sonic said it was to try and help Tails, but still, I mean, come on now. Got to do a little bit better than that, sir. So go ahead. Let's hear the rest of your reasons.
Romantic plot tumor. Check.
Okay, so Ian Flynn is the only writer that's ever done romance before. You know, we never seen Knuckles and Julie Sue, Antoine and Bunny, Hershey and Jeffrey St. Dumbass. We never seen anything. No other writer but Ian Flynn has done that. Okay, but... you know, that's another reason. Go ahead, let's continue.
Warping of a character into a Mary Sue. Check.
Into a Mary Sue. Are you kidding me? Sally into a Mary Sue. Obviously, you must not have done some research into Sally, because beforehand, before 134, Sally didn't really make that many mistakes and stuff like that. And Sally's a Mary Sue. So if Sally's a Mary Sue, then that means she wouldn't have been blown away in 225, and she wouldn't be roboticized right now trying to save anyone. So yeah, she's sure as hell a Mary Sue when, you know, even she makes mistakes. But let's go ahead. Let's continue. You have some valid arguments there.
Overuse of shock moments that go nowhere. Check.
Shock moments that go nowhere. Okay, so how in issue 225 when Sally was blown away, and that freaked everyone the fuck out. Then we had to wait 5 months to see it, to see the epilogue to Genesis, only for Sally to be saved. Okay, thank God she's saved. Only at the end of the issue for her to be roboticized. You know, that wasn't going anywhere, because, you know, the shock value would have been her being roboticized anyway, like I said before. And let's see, Antoine pretty much being blown away and go into a coma or anything like that, Naho being destroyed, yada yada yada. But yeah, those shock values they're not doing anything for anybody. But let's go ahead. I still want to hear more of your points. Give me some more valid reasons.
Repeated use of a plot line. Check.
Actually, it's called a subplot. The subplot. You got the main plot and the subplot. Obviously, the subplot was Silver trying to find the traitor to the freedom fighters that doomed his world. So, it's not the reuse of a plot, it's a subplot. You know, the plot that's not focusing on the main plot. So, okay, continue.
Inconsistently effective villain. Check.
Okay, in all honesty, if Eggman had won, the comic would be over with right now. So that valid, or your point is invalid at that point, because it's an ongoing struggle. If Sonic wins, comic over. Eggman wins, comic over. They'll get a little victory here and there, but other than that, either wins, comic over with. So, and it's Eggman. He loses. moving on.
Idiot plots. Check.
Actually, he was setting that up for the next whole development for Nicole. He was setting that up so the people be afraid, so they want to exile Nicole, and you know, if you read the Iron Domain saga and everything, and afterwards you would see the people were afraid of Nicole. So yeah, we went from that to, you know, that plot to Nicole getting development, which she currently is right now. So again, that's another one of your points that's invalid, but go ahead. I still want to hear what all you have to say. So please continue.
Shoehorning in of unfunny internet memes. Check.
Honestly, I got nothing on this. Maybe Ian was just nodding to the fan base, saying that, you know, I know some of the memes and just throw them in the comics. I mean, you know, he's done a couple things, get a load of this, singing the Eggman song. So, I don't know, maybe he's just nodding to the Sonic fans. But, I don't know, that's your opinion, so I won't look down on that. So, go ahead.
Redcon said shit on whatever spirit the comic had left. Check. And the list goes on and on. Essentially, Archie's Sonic comics these days have become bad teenage fanfiction. And it hurts me even to say that since I'm 15 and I've written better fanfiction.
Oh, so what you're saying is that you can do better. You can do better as a writer for the Sonic comics. I hear that a lot. People say they don't like the story and everything, and they don't like how the comic's going. Can you do better? Can you write the story a whole lot better and keep everybody entertained and keep everyone happy? If you can do that, then please, by all means, write for us. I would love to see this. I would love to see you write for us. Since you said it's nothing but 15-year-old fan fiction, I would love, and I mean love, to hear what you have to say and what you would do to the story. But anyway, let's just keep going. I still want to hear what you have to say. So keep going.
So let's look at Sonic 230. Why did I pick that one to go first? Because I feel it's exemplified every one of those points I've made.
Oh, this is going to be hilarious. I want to hear you. Go right ahead. I'm all ears. We're all ears.
This comic took place after Sonic Genesis, a comic arc that even die-hard supporters wouldn't bother defending.
Again, Genesis has had its mixed shares. People saying it was either pointless or whatever. We'll just have to see how Ian Flynn plays it. Because like I said before, Sega made them do something. He had to do something. So he said, why not do Genesis? Something that could fit into the storyline. So, again, Sega, he had to do that. Because like I said, if it was up to him, Sally would have been roboticized in 225 instead of 230. But, continue.
Here's a summary. Sally gets killed in a plot twist that I knew right off the bat would be retconned somehow. Eggman reverses time in a move that conflicts with his actual goals as a villain and in fact brings Sally back to life. Classic zones from the Sega games are thrown in as a half-assed attempt to celebrate Sonic's 20th anniversary.
Again, like I said, if that's your opinion, that's your opinion. But if you're trying to speak facts, you're trying to say that Ian Flynn was the only one who did this. Let's not look at the Sonic Adventure adaptation that they did in the comics in issues 82, 83, 84, 80, or 80 in the 80s. The 80s issues or whatever, early 80s, when they did the Adventure adaptation. Not to mention issue 98 with the Sonic Adventure 2 partly adaptation. So, you know, Ian Flynn's the only one that did that. So, yeah. Again, if it's your opinion, that's fine. And I'm not doubting you if that's your opinion. But if you're trying to speak fact, then I'm sorry, sir. You got your facts wrong. Moving on.
Continuity is defiled, and the entire event wipes itself out of existence, making the entire story arc nothing more than a waste of several dozen trees that could have gone to better use.
All I can say is that's your opinion. But Ian has already stated that Genesis probably has more to do and all the other stuff afterwards, so we still don't know the true effects of what happened after Genesis. So Ian Flynn said we're still working on that, so give it some time. You know, maybe Genesis will have a bigger role in it. Give it some time. So, moving on.
About the cover. I don't usually like to focus on covers, but just look at this pose. Yeah, that doesn't make Sally look like Jesus Christ or anything, does it? Forgive them, O Lord. They know not what they draw.
Okay, I'm an artist, and I can tell you right now, that picture of Sally glowing, it's supposed to It's supposed to show her transforming from Sally into Mecha Sally. That's the light, the robotization light, and all the other stuff of her transforming. That's what it's like. At the same time, you don't like it, again, that's your opinion. But if you think it's horrible and all that stuff, can you do better? Can you do better? I tried. Look how I did this. And I may redraw this. That's how I did it. Can you do it? If you can't, I shut the fuck up. That's what I do. If I couldn't do anything and I had a problem with it, I fuck up. Shut the fuck up. That's right. But no, I'm being serious though. If that's your opinion that you don't like it, that's fine. But at the same time, don't down it just because of the way Sally supposedly looks like Jesus. So that's kind of shallow of you. But at the same time, again, if it's your opinion, it's your opinion. But again, let's go on. I still want to hear what you have to say. I still want to hear all the research you have done and put into this. So let's go on.
Welcome to the Planet Mobius, a world unique and beyond what you know from the Sega games. Yeah, take a pot shot at the video games, why don't you? This is such a good adaptation.
Okay, it says right there that they are in different continuity. The Sega games and the comics are two separate continuities. You can't compare the two unless they do an adaptation in the comics. Whatever happens in the games, don't even count that for the comics. Don't even count it unless they add it in the comics. If they haven't added it in the comics, just assume it's not going to happen. So, again, moving on.
That looks like a giant roboticizer. A world roboticizer, to be precise. I don't get it. And here I thought we had something to worry about. Yeah, a world roboticizer. Nothing to worry about here, people. Move along.
Okay, apparently, again, you have not done your research. The reason why Sonic was laughing at that is because I recall in issue 117, 118, I believe, one of those issues, an alien race known as the BIM, had came by and was looked at the robotization, and they did a test. First of all, there was a time where when Eggman was defeated and all the Robians had their free will, one day all the Robians, that's roboticized Mobians, if you didn't know, they were all gone, and one by one they all started showing up, and they were all de-roboticized. Apparently, the BIM, I forgot the name of the BIM who did it, but she decided to de-roboticize everyone on Mobius except Sonic's dad, but only reason why, because he was de-roboticized, the injuries he had before he was roboticized would kill him. But they de-roboticized them, and they made sure that they would never happen again. So they had an immunity to robotization. So that's why Sonic was laughing, because at the time he thought to himself, there's no way in the world robotization is going to work because everyone's immune to it. But after Genesis, the arc that didn't count or no one ever cared about or that had no purpose, after that removed the robotization, at least for some. It removed it for some, not for all. So, again, please, if you're going to say that, please do your research. Please do your research. Get your facts straight. But, again, moving on, please.
Do you have a death wish, lady? I mean, you didn't even try to think of any other alternatives. Particularly one that wouldn't result in you getting possessed against everything you believe in. In fact, I can think of one right now. Hey, Sonic, you know that you can roll into a ball and destroy virtually anything in your path, right? Why don't you use it to destroy the machine and disable it before it can fire?
No, that would be cheating.
Okay, and I didn't want to say this beforehand, but the way you zoom in, zoom out of your comics and everything, and now with that clip you just showed, so pretty much it's confirming to me that you were pretty much copying Linkara's style of comics. Don't think I've never seen Linkara. I watch Linkara every week. Same thing with Nostalgia Critic. So if you try and copy that, I pick it up immediately. You're trying to sound just like Linkara, but Linkara has facts. He knows what he's talking about. And I got a question for you. Hey, Sonic. You could destroy that machine, but I know you got Metal Sonic, who is pretty much your robotic counterpart, who is pretty much outspeed you and all the other stuff. or, you know, at least go at the same speed as you, especially with a Silver Sonic. You know, you gotta fight two machines at once, and possibly dealing with a possible Eggman. Granted, he was looking for Sally, but what about the fact that maybe if Sonic tried to go for the machine, that he would stop Sonic? And, you know, the robots wasn't paying attention to Sally. So, there's that question for you. Why Sally tried to do something while Sonic beat a diversion? You know, with the two giant Sonics, or two metal Sonics gunning for his life. So, that's my question to you. What would you have done, sir, if you couldn't make it to the machine? You have to depend on someone else. So, yeah. Proceed.
Oh, but that's not the crowning moment of stupid in this comic. This is it. Sonic, the Hedgehog who sent massive space stations crashing to the ground, who learned to teleport using a fake Chaos Emerald in a matter of seconds, who faced down more planet-sized, time-devouring monstrosities than I can count on one hand.
Again, games can't compare the game continuity to the comic continuity. Can't compare them, can't compare them, can't compare them. I sound like Nostalgia Critic.
Well, it didn't cost me anything. I didn't pay for it. Yeah, I illegally downloaded this comic, and I don't regret it one iota. In fact, I recommend you, all of you out there, to pirate these comics. Do not feed these assholes money! Now, don't go thinking this was a comic that missed its usual mark. No. That was average. I'm not kidding. It's just like what Spoonie said about TNA Impact. Imagine the stupidest comic you've ever read in your life. And that's how bad every Archie Sonic comic gets these days, on average. I haven't gotten into the really bad stuff yet.
Okay, I gotta say this, and this kills me. This really kills me. Not just him, okay, not just him, but a few people have said this, either on my videos, chats, whatever. You say you don't like the comics, how is that bad? My question to you, to everyone who says that is, if the comics are that bad, why the fuck do you read them? Really, why do you read them? If they are that bad, stop reading them. Stop. Why? I know if I was reading something and it was complete shit, I would stop reading them. Okay? Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. Just about a month ago, I officially stopped reading Bleach. I used to read Bleach. I don't like how it's going now. The Bleach is dropped off the... Bleach is dropped. So I stopped reading it because it wasn't exciting. So why the fuck are you still reading it if you saying the comics are complete shit and you haven't even gotten to the bad stuff? Why? Why would you put yourself through that? And at the same time, you said you pirate the comics and everything. So again, you're reading them for free. Why are you complaining? You know what? Honestly, it's people like you that make me want to stop uploading the Sonic comics. Really. I'm dead serious. If more people were like you, I would stop uploading the comics. Just because of that. But, you know, I'm not going to ruin it for the people who can't read them and the people who enjoy reading the comics. I'm not going to mess that up for people like you. And I'm not just targeting you. I'm targeting anyone. Anyone that has a problem with the comics. You don't like a certain issue or you don't like the way certain is going, that's your opinion. But if you say the comic straight out sucks, then why the fuck are you reading it? Why do you keep coming back twice a month and read Universe and the main series just to say, oh, this is complete shit? Why? You got nothing else better to do? That just shows to me you got no life. You got no life but to just sit there and say, oh, well, time to go waste my life watching this boring shit.
But my god, this sucks. Even if you read the book out of context, it's mind-numbingly awful. And I'm sure it'll get even stupider if I actually do get around to reading Genesis.
Okay, I gotta say this. I really gotta say this. If you were trying to quote Linkara, you're supposed to hold up the comic and you're supposed to say, this comic sucks! That's what you were supposed to say. But no, other than that, I have to say, you haven't read Genesis. So let me get this straight. You said Genesis was pointless and all that other stuff. You talked so much about Genesis, how it was a pointless and all the other points, but yet you never read it. Okay? Read it. Read it. And at the same time, guys, I didn't put up the entire video. If you want to see the whole video, find this video or go to BW Rose's channel and watch the video. Okay, he has it. He uploaded it to his channel. Go to BW Rose's YouTube channel and watch the video to its entirety. I'm sorry, I didn't want to upload the whole thing. I don't mean to talk about it the whole time, but that's just prime example of what I'm saying. People who talk about the comic, if you do not like something, voice your opinion on something. That's fine. I will not talk about you or anything. I don't like to talk about people, but I'm sorry. If you voice your opinion, that's perfectly fine. If you don't like something, I am for that because that's your opinion and I can't change your opinion. But if you try to turn around and base it as fact, then please, before you try to say it as fact or whatever, please do your research. Do your fucking research. Do your fucking research. Do your motherfucking research, people. Please. You've seen this with Sonic Topics Get Off My Chest 1 and 2. I support whatever I say. I support with pictures and whatever I can from actual comics. I try and support what I say. Because I don't want to sound like, oh, okay, well, I'm saying this, but I don't have no proof. I try my best. And plus I go from knowledge too, from what I see. So I have proof. I at least try and back up what I say. You didn't. Linkar backs up what he says. You didn't. You just voiced your opinion how you said you didn't like this or like this. And even then, Linkar, even if he has his own opinion, he tells you. Okay? I'm sorry. It's not just you two. It's other people that do that that gets on my nerves. Really. It really gets on my nerves. Whether you guys bash on Ian Flynn, bash on Ken Penders, bash on Carl Ballers. I mean, like I said, yes, Penders and Ballers, they, especially Penders, he has set up the comic. He gave us the characters. You know, I'm not mad at him for that. I mean, I'm not mad because he has done some stuff. He has set up a lot of things, okay? So I'm not bashing on him. I'm just saying, some of the things that he and Ballers have done have made the comic fall into a rut, had characters way out of character, and it just got boring. That's all I can say. Ian Flynn came in, he gave us exciting arc after exciting arc after exciting arc. At the same time, yes, we do get a couple of in-between times, like 4 to 6 issues out of the way, where you just set up for the next one, but at the same time, though, it all rolls into one. You know, at the same time, I'm not saying Ken Penders is innocent or anything. I mean, I'm not saying Ian Flynn's innocent or anything too, because everyone makes mistakes. Ian Flynn makes mistakes before, like I said. In my opinion, Sally and Khan. You know, Sally said she had feelings for Monkey Khan, but at the same time, what really drew her to him was that he had the same qualities as Sonic. And again, if that's the case, give Sonic another fucking chance. But at the same time, I guess she wanted to clear this. I guess Ian Flynn wanted to put this down and clear her up. So, you know, she even said it too. She even said it in 212 that she wanted to give Sonic another chance because it wouldn't be fair to him. Ever since the whole little slap heard around Mobius and all the other shit. So, yes. But, other than that, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to just single someone out, but it's not just him, it's to everybody who feels that way. Please do your research, whether you like it or hate it, whatever. Do your research before you post something like this, saying, well, I haven't even read Genesis yet. I haven't read this. I'm not afraid of no world roboticized. You should be afraid, even though, you know, robotization hasn't been used in like over 100 issues. Over 100 issues. So we're looking at, when was the last time robotization was before 230? When was the last time someone was roboticized? 118, 119, I think. So it's been over 100 issues. That's the course of what, 8 years, I think? Just about 7, 8 years, something like that. That's a long time. That's a very long time. So yeah, I wouldn't have been worried either if I was Sonic. But yeah, again, this is Sasuke 419. Thank you. I know this was a long one. The next ones won't be that long, but I had to get this off my chest. Thank you for watching Sonic Topics Get Off My Chest. And if you guys have any suggestions of what you want, let me know. Do you want to, like in the beginning, do you want me to talk about Jeffrey Saint dumbass? Because I can easily go into that. I can easily tell you why. It is not for what happened in Genesis, in pre-Genesis, and post-Genesis that pissed me off about Jeffrey Saint dumbass, okay? It's not that. I never liked him since he was first introduced, okay? I never liked Jeffrey Saint fuck up, okay? I never liked Jeffrey Saint McDumbass. But yeah, if y'all want me to say something like that, I will. Or if you have another thing, I'll be glad. And you know what? Maybe next time, if y'all give me a good enough topic too, and maybe we can set something up, PM me. Maybe we can do it. Maybe we can co-host. Sonic Topics off my chest. Hell, I was gonna do it with Sonic Comic World. I wouldn't mind, but at the same time, if you do want to co-host with me, you have to bring your A game. Okay, I'm serious. You can't just voice your opinions, which is fine. If you want to voice your opinions, that's fine. But if you gotta say something, you gotta come up with facts. Okay, I'm willing to help or whatever, but you gotta give facts too. Okay, that or try to support you. Try to support and back up what you say. Okay, that's all I'm asking. But yeah, give me advice. Tell me what you want for the next Sonic Topics. Hopefully this one won't take, I don't know, 4 or 5 months to do the next one. The next one should be coming up soon. So again, Sasuke419. Thank you for Sonic Topics Get Off My Chest, Episode 3. Stay tuned for Episode 4.